Hello Leo, Leo Rising and Leo Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting June 26th, 2017. And a quick reminder for all you Leo folks out there, remember this is the last week of the pre-sale that I've had going on for the Tarot Home Study course. Tarot Home Study course that I'm going to be debuting on the 1st of July. It will be available for purchase and download, but it will be at full price. So if you want to take advantage of the pre-sale discount, you do need to do so this week because it goes away on the 1st. And so again, if you do want to do that, you just need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. It's the same place where you would get a session with me, or you can make the perilous voyage down to the description bar beneath this video, and you can find a link to it there as well. So what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, this week we've got Mars on Monday in your 12th house of your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone, forming a lovely trine connection to Neptune, currently retrograding through your 8th house of shared resources and passive income. And it looks like, with Mars in the 12th house, there could be some kind of unexpected breakthrough that's been around some kind of big financial debate, or perhaps even some kind of struggle, or perhaps just some kind of initiative that you've been having a lot of roadblocks with when it comes to your self-employment, supplemental income, or maybe even acquiring venture capital. Mars forming a trine to Neptune retrograde can even indicate an opportunity for people looking for investors, looking for loans, looking to get approved for a mortgage. All of these good things are coming through because a roadblock is being cleared by Neptune retrograde. And that usually has to do with the dispelling of some kind of misconception or illusion in this area. Later on the week, on Thursday, we've got Mercury in the same area, in that 12th house of your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone, forming an opposition to Pluto, currently retrograde in your 6th house of work, reputation, and your schedule. And when we have Mercury opposed to this area, there could be some difficulty around something that was, that an old schedule or an old way of doing work is being put back on the table, and this is not something that you really want to do again. This is not something that is ideal. This is something that we've actually worked hard to escape, whether it was an undesirable schedule, an undesirable workload, or possibly even an undesirable demographic if you work for yourself. Take stock of what is going on and why this situation is coming back for a repeat right now. Is there something that we are doing that may be making us seem more available to this type of situation? Have we maybe made the wrong impression to the wrong authority figures? Or have maybe we've been marketing our business or ourselves in a certain way that's drawing back, again, a crowd of folks that we really do have a hard time working with? And so it's important to make sure that, this opposition, because it is a thing coming from the past, is taken care of, because you don't have to go back into this. You don't have to be passive and just allow it to happen to you again. So what's going on with your cards this week then? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Elven Touch. And this is a card that does talk, again, about comebacks and revivals. All in, again, we've got, this is a week of many gray areas, which is good. Wisdom is in the gray area. And with, the Elven Touch, we do tend to see, again, a lot of things coming back for reconsideration. Things coming back to life, for good or for ill. And we saw that with the astrology, so this card is very appropriate. But it's very important to pay attention with the Elven Touch that it's not just a grab bag of anything and everything coming back into your space. It is a wonderful time for recovering things like lost chances, lost funds, possibly even opportunities to reconnect with people that we've become estranged from. But again, make sure that we're not also opening the door to the unsavory elements and people of our past, because it's a wide door that's swinging open. So you're going to have to be judicious with how you handle that this week. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the High Priestess upright. a wonderful card because it does look like some assistance or some help is coming your way. You know, the High Priestess can often indicate somebody who is trying to actually push for, I guess you could say, a breakthrough on your behalf for you personally. This can indicate a third-party individual going out and making some kind of testimony. Maybe they're promoting you. This could be somebody who you do actually count on as an agent, a consultant, a manager of some kind, or possibly even somebody in-house at the place that you are actually applying to or that you already work for. But this person vouching for you, this person tying up the loose ends and playing professional matchmaker, is going to bring some kind of big turnabout result for you this week. And usually with the High Priestess, this is something that you did not volunteer for. They went out and did it of their own accord. Now, however you feel about that on principle is your own business. But this does look like something that's going to have a big payoff. But we may have to correct it if it does have to do with what we saw with the astrology. Again, gray areas. Live with it. For your communications with air, we do have the Page of Swords reversed. This week is going to be kind of interesting because when it comes to friends and family members, we're going to have to deal with a situation where a person is arriving at all the wrong conclusions. And possibly with the Page of Pentacles reversed, it's sort of a weird conclusion that they just kind of arrived at on their own. Sometimes the Page of Swords reversed can indicate a situation where a person is exploding, mouthing off, freaking out, you know, going, you know, absolutely nuts up and down, you know, maybe your social media page, I don't know, where they think they know what you're talking about, or they have like this big thing, this big issue, and they've completely taken it all the wrong way, whether they're taking it personally, even though you probably it has nothing to do with them, or they are assuming that you're doing something you're not. And we have a situation that needs to be corrected, because the issue with the Page of Swords reversed is kind of talking about the seed of a rumor, or the seed of a myth, you know, or the seed of, you know, an urban legend type of thing. And what we need to pay attention to is that if this is allowed to get carried away, it can. So you've got to go in. It's not about doing damage control on your own behalf, but it's more like correcting somebody who doesn't know how to show their work when they're trying to problem solve. Because there isn't a problem. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Five of Swords reversed. This week is actually going to have a lot of opportunities to do some patching up, Leo, and you may not necessarily feel like you're in a place or a mood to patch up with people all the time. You know, but the grace of the Five of Swords reversed is indicating, you know, even though you may be feeling like, look, I'm not interested, you know, I don't feel like making amends, I certainly don't feel like making the first move. The Five of Swords reversed, you know, one of the things that I'm getting from this, outside of, you know, the usual definitions, is this is actually a situation where you are apologizing to somebody you know you owe an apology to. You know, and that can be a tough thing, because sometimes either A, where we just want to move on, we don't want to go back, we don't want to open up the past, you know, whatever, right? We do want to, however, look and see where this situation does need to be made up for. And sometimes we are the ones who make the offense, and we are the ones who may need to go and, you know, we may have a perfectly good reason for why it happened, or it may have been an accident, collateral damage, whatever. But regardless of the state you were in, the place you were in, this person may deserve it from you anyway. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Five of Cups, upright. There may be some, how to phrase it, I kind of feel like there's something really distracting your partner this week, or your crush or your intended. If you meet somebody new, we are definitely seeing some issues with emotional preoccupation. And it is important to tread lightly in this situation. Sometimes we may think that it's, you know, the best thing we can do for somebody is to try and make them feel better, give them a lot of, you know, like, oh, look on the bright side, positive energy, all those kinds of things. But that's not really empathy, that's sympathy. And with the Five of Cups, you know, empathy is more important at this time. But pay attention to where a person might not necessarily be in a place, whether it's for a long time or just this short week, to participate in the relationship or in the courtship even though they may be trying to go through the motions. It's not a personal knock on you, but it does seem like there may be some kind of weird news going on in the background, feeling of a loss, and it's a painful distraction, but it's not something they should be trying to distract themselves from and ignore either. This is a priority. And so you may be competing with, your partner's need to solve this issue. And don't let yourself get put into that position. Everything should be okay otherwise, but, don't let your partner put this off for you. And again, that's a very generous thing to do. So that is your horoscope. Leo, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.